Hello there, I'm Donna from Riverside Beads and Crafts here. I'm the owner of a craft shop here in Market Deeping. So I don't know if you guys are local to Market Deeping in Peterborough or whether it's a wider audience. Do let me know where you're tuning in from today. So today I am going to show you jewellery making. Well, it's a jewellery making technique, a very specific technique called Kumihimo. Now Kumihimo is the art of Japanese braiding. It is a process. Kumihimo is literally translated means coming together of threads. So it's the braids coming together in a certain way, and there's lots of different patterns that you can follow for this, and you create braids. Now these braids in history of the traditional art would have been used to adorn you know, garments that they would have worn to battle, and it traditionally still goes on very much, the much more detailed version of what I'm going to show you today. So today is going to be an introduction to it and kind of our sort of modern approach of how we've made it. I typically use it for jewellery making. It is also fantastic for if you fancy larger projects. I've had customers make things such as dog leads, curtain tie backs, you know, different trims for cushions and things like that. So you'll see when the braid starts how easy it is to replicate that and make larger pieces. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn you down onto the mat and we'll have a look at some of the materials, some of the tools that you're going to need, and then I'll show you, I'm going to demonstrate how to do this and how we do the basic 8 braid sort of braiding to make a bracelet. So thanks so much for tuning in. So I'm Riverside Beads, and I'm personally not, I'm Donna from Riverside Beads. So let's tune in and have a look, and we'll see what we've got going on here today. Just bear with me. Now hopefully I have got you turned down so you can see everything there. So give me a shout if you can see it. If anybody's tuning in live, then hopefully you'll be able to see everything. So we've got some different cords. I've got some of the samples of what you can make here. So this is the art of Japanese braiding. It's known as Kumihimo. So I'm just going to be sitting down as well. I will periodically get up and check if there's any messages that you need me to reply to. Just let me know when I'm sat here whether you can still hear me as well. I want to talk you through some of the tools and materials that you're going to need to get started with your Kumihimo first. So this is a Kumihimo disc. This is a small version of the disc. We also do a larger version. The size of the braid is not determined by this. So this is more about handability. So some people just prefer the smaller disc and some people prefer the larger one. So I happen to have both. The projects I've got set up are going to be done on the smaller one today. I've also got set out our satin cord. Now this is a 2mm satin cord. Satin cord is a nice silky cord, and when it braids together you'll get your finished piece here. There we go. And then, so that's our cord. I've pre-cut that one off ready. This one here is how they come on the rolls. So we do a fabulous starter kit for you to get going with your Kumihimo. And in the starter kit, it is as you see there that you get in it. So you get 3 rolls of cord that you can choose your colours of. You get a pack of your end caps. Now your end caps are how we finish the braid. So we pop those on at the ends. You get the disc and you get my Kumihimo book. So I'm the author of A Beginner's Guide to Kumihimo, and I've sort of wrote this book, and it's been out a couple of years now, but it really is following my passion for this braid. I truly can, every car journey you will find me with one of these in my hand. I have a huge passion for sort of creating new designs and new ideas. So the book progresses you through from the very beginners that I'm going to show you today, right through lots and lots of different designs. And I've worked with a fabulous producer of this, Search Press, who are publishers of specialist of craft books, and they really have taken the most beautiful photos and, you know, really clear, and I've wrote some clear instructions to help guide you along your way. So you can grab that from us here at Riverside Beads, or it's also available in bookstores and things as well. So that's the book. I'll try and show you a little bit more of that when I'm looking at the different projects in a moment. So I'm just going to have a quick check-in, see how we're all doing. Any questions from anybody that need to know anything? Okay, I can always come back on the questions afterwards as well. Hopefully you'll be able to see everything you need to see here. So these are some of the finished braids out of the book as well. So we've got various different braided ones which we're going to work through today, and then there's pattern ones where you can get things like a little heart coming through there. This one here has got the most cutest little daisy flowers running through it. If you can just see the daisy made out of the beads. And then you've got all the different types of beaded ones. So in the book I do cover things like how to make a button and loop fastening. So sometimes people will say, oh, I'm allergic to metals, or you know, whatever it is. So this has got no metals on it, this project here. So you can utilise the button and loop fastening there. I've got, what else have I got here? Pattern based beaded ones. So this one here's got 4 colour stripes. Things like this one, which is pearls with just the odd sort of beautiful cut crystal strung through it. So there's design variations, there's colour variations. So this project is pretty much this one here in different size beads, with different, still the button and loop, but that's got like the little tassel hanging off of it as well. So there are lots of different design variations, colour variations, sizes of cord can vary it. So these 2 projects are the beginner's one that we're just going to be doing now, but in different size cord. So they've done exactly the same size disc, but these 2 are made out of different sizes of cord. So yes, there's some of the things that influence it. So when I find that we do a beginner's project, we would use our disc and we would use our cord. Now the size of the cord, as I say, that you use, I'll just move all the other bits that we're not going to need out of the way for now. The size of the cord that you will use will determine the size of the braid, the diameter of the braid that comes out. So like I say, the thicker cord or the thinner cord will determine the finished size of the braid there. The other thing that influences how your pattern comes out as well is how you lay your cords out on here. So we're not going to focus too much on that for now, but I'll talk about that in a moment for you. So that should be, hopefully you can just see my disc there now. Yeah, good. So hopefully this will give you everything that you need to get started with it. So this is a nice foam disc, so it's nice and lightweight, lots of little slots, and it's got slots and numbers in there. So the Kumihimo, and in the book I refer to the numbers. However, the way I'm going to explain it to you now, and when I teach this in person at all your WIs and your village hall groups and things, I would sort of teach you this same process I'm going to show you now, so you don't have to worry too much about all the numbers and everything. All we do at first is refer to the north, east, south, west, or you might have dots. If you get a different disc, you might have dots opposite there, but that's what we'll look at first. So far then, I have taken my satin cord, which is my thicker one, so this is going to come out in this sort of size, so a nice thick satin cord, and it will be assorted colours. So I've picked 4 different strands, which is how you make the standard 8 braid that we're going to look at today. Now, just to warn you guys, actually, I'm doing this from the shop. Didn't quite have time to be able to get home in time after the shop closed, but do bear in mind the phone might ring, and I've got nobody here to answer it. So it will just ring, unfortunately, until they ring off. So do apologise if that does happen. So this is our 2mm satin cord. What I've done, and the measurement for this is you measure your wrist. So say we're making a bracelet and we want it, say, roughly to that size. You would do that and you would times that up by 3 to 4 times, depending. I tend to go for 4 times. It depends on the thickness of cord, but when you're doing it as a beginner, the thing I will say about Kumihimo is you can't add cord to it, so it's actually better to get it right and cut more cord, certainly when you're practicing. So I've cut 4 lengths of cord as well. So 4 pieces, 2 purple and 2 teal. So this will make a stripe. Let's just show you the blue one. So this will make a stripe. So the finished piece I will have here will have a stripe of teal, stripe of purple, and then repeated teal, purple, teal, purple. So if I bring that up for you to see. That kept in focus for you all. Can you all see that? Do let me know if you're there, and if there's any issues, it says the comments will appear as I'm going, so I'll try and pick those up. So that's what we're going to be making, but in the purple and the teal. Okay, so what I've done, I've tied this with a spare piece of cord. So that's just a surplus piece of cord. I found the middle of the cords, put them all together, found the middle and tied that there. Now that middle goes down in the centre of that hole there. So I pop that in and I position these cords out either side of north, east, south and west. Now the way you lay these out, as I said previously, will determine the pattern you get, but I'm after that very defined stripe of teal and purple. So to get that, I position the same colours opposite one another. So I'm going for my teals on north and south and my purples on east and west, and that will give us a very defined one stripe of purple, one stripe of teal. If we were to vary those round, that's how we get one of our pattern variations. I'm hoping as well, I'm doing this upside down to me, but I'm hoping when I demonstrate this that what you can see is as if you're looking at it. So I do hope that that is the view you get from the disc. Now what you do, and you may have seen me just put those cords in, so you put them into the little slots. So I'm pulling it underneath. So it's quite a nice technique. If you struggle a little bit with dexterity in your hands, you can just gently position that in like so and pull it a bit further down, so you're just getting a bit of grip on it, but to make it comfortable for yourself. So I'm taking my top right cord out of the slot and I'm taking it down to the bottom and to the right of the cord at the bottom. I then take my bottom left cord out of the disc and up to the top left. That is my first set of moves. Quarter turn it anti-clockwise and repeat again. So top right down and bottom left up and turn again, and top right down and bottom left up. Quarter turn anti-clockwise, so you're always rotating around to the next colour. Top right comes out and goes straight down to bottom right, so it's top down, bottom up. And you'll see I've got very much a tram lines going on here, so very straight lines going through. If you don't have that straightness of these crossing over and you sort of accidentally put it in the wrong place, then that's an indication that you've gone wrong. So really work on that methodical look of straight down and straight up. I always sort of liken this to any skill that you learn, sort of like riding a bike really and things. Once you can do it, and you can do this braided one quite comfortably, a bit like knitting if you can pick up that type of thing. Once you've done this, then it's more comfortable to go on to the beaded one when this becomes second nature. So I can obviously now talk and do it and be able to explain it to you guys and not have to think too much about the process of what I'm doing. And once you're sort of at that stage where you can comfortably do this, then that's when I progress on to the different pattern ones. So I'm just repeating this process as I go. So top right comes out, down to bottom right, bottom left comes out, and up to top left, and rotate. Top, down, bottom, up. So it's a bit of a mantra I tell myself as I'm doing it. Top, down, bottom, up. And you can do this as fast or as slow as you like. You can see I'm speeding up a little. I want to show you what it looks like when you get a little bit further along the way. I'll bring this a little bit closer, see if you can see it. Is that still clear enough for you guys? Top, down, bottom, up, turn. Top, down, bottom, up, and turn. So then we keep repeating this. So I'm Donna from Riverside Beads. I've also got Riverside Crafts here in Market Deeping. So we're a craft and a bead store. We sell all sorts of different beading and craft materials. But this particular topic is a big passion of mine. It's incredibly popular. Everything I'm using that you've seen me use today are all the tools and materials that you really need. What does get exciting is all the different colour beads and things that you can buy. But that can progress. Actually, in terms of this is the basic materials that you need to get started. It's well worth having this nice lightweight disc. You can pick these up individually from us, or we do the starter kit with the book, the disc, 3 rolls of this silky cord and 5 end caps. We do that for £15. So they're all available on our Riverside Beads website. So I will keep going. So if I was coming to you at your WIs and craft groups and village groups, what we would do is I would bring you all on these and we would all make one together, so we would all have a go at it, which is lovely. But this is certainly something that you can do in your home and hopefully watch back over this tutorial. So I'll just go a little bit further so I can see I've got some new people joining in as well. Is it in shot, guys, still? Are you still seeing it in your view? Just so you can see what we're doing there. So I'm rotating, one down, one up, and rotate again. Now I want to have a look in a minute at what's going on underneath. So when I'm going to do that, I have a top tip for you to know where you are with your cords. So what we do is we take our top right, let me just do a couple more moves there, sorry. Top right, we go down, and then instead of going our bottom left one up, we're going to leave that down there for a moment, which will allow me to do the next bit. So I'm going to flip this over, and under there you can see what's been going on. So that's the braid coming out of the bottom of the disc. Now what I'm going to do is give this a little pull, because what it does, it needs putting into its natural tension, and you'll see actually I've probably got a couple of inches done there of my braiding. And you see that really nice stripe that we got. So going back to the original things we were talking about at the beginning about how to lay that out, that laying it out this way has given me that defined teal and purple stripe. So I'm going to pop that back down. Now when I pop that back down, this is certainly when I'm teaching people, they would say, well, where are we next? This is how we know where we are next. So we've done our top right down. I'm on my bottom left, ready to come up now. So, and then we proceed. So rotating round, top right down, bottom left up, rotate, top goes down, bottom goes up. So we're carrying this process on. So you do this until you've braided. Now if you've measured your cord, if you've done it that way round, so you've measured your cord, and you know, in theory when you run out of your cord, that'll be when your braid is the right size. So with this one, if we were to measure it, times it by the length that we needed by 4, we would have, when we've run out of cord, we would have our braid at the right size that we need it to be to make our finished bracelet the right size. Now the way that we finish them off is we put end caps on them. Those end caps glue onto the end, but they also then have a little jump ring, clasp, and an extension chain. If you buy the ones from us, they can come with that, and that will allow you to just, you know, if you're making it for a gift and you think, oh, I don't know if they're a 7, 8, 9 inch wrist, you know, it'll allow you to make it to a middle size, and then have the extension clasp to give you that extra size that you need for people. So if you're making these for gifts, they are just absolutely perfect. The kit itself is perfect for giving us the gift, but also if you want to make the finished pieces for people and keep it as a hobby for yourself, and then you give the finished pieces, that's also perfect to give the finished braids that you're making. So I'm proceeding on with the braiding here. I probably won't get the whole thing finished because it's quite a repetitive braid, and I have got one pre-done that I'll be able to show you how to do all the end caps and things on there. So for those of you that are just joining, it's top right down to bottom right, bottom left up to top left, and turn. Top goes down, bottom goes up, and turn. So it's a repeating braid. It's Kumihimo, which is the art of Japanese braiding. This it means coming together of threads. So as you can see, we started with our loose threads here, and the braiding process that we're following braids them into each other, and that's the coming together of them in the braid. Now this is the 8 braid. They all have Japanese names, Sakungo Gumi, and this one is one of the most popular ones, I guess, really, in modern day jewellery making. It's very, very versatile. It's a nice easy braid to learn and get familiar with, and it's very versatile in terms of what you can do from this. So we're doing it with a nice 2mm satin cord at the moment. If you do it with, say, a 1mm satin cord, you just end up with a thinner braid. If you do it with a you know, something like, I'll just pop that one down. If you remember, that's our tip to remember where we are. So I'll just bring this piece into the picture for you, just bear with me. This piece here, so this is a standard 8 braid, but with the, you see that kind of texture, that sort of fluff running through it. So if you've got some yarn hanging about, which I'm sure we've all got some of that in our stash, this is a strand of that thrown in. So it's got 3 of our satiny cords, and then 1 strand of our lovely textured yarn thrown in there as well, just to give that different look to it, which is rather cute. So all of our little bracelet kits that we do that work in conjunction with the book, they all, I'll bring in some of these for you to have a look at. So we have little kits for all of these. So you can buy the book and you can buy little kits to make all these different types of braids as well, and all the different types of beaded bracelets that we make. So that's over at riversidebeads.co.uk. So what I'm showing you now is lots of variations. Some of these have got double stripes, so that's a pattern variation in terms of how we lay the cords out. This one here, my charm's not on it, but this is ready to add a charm onto it, so I've put a little bail onto the centre there. This one is one that I made for my husband, which is a larger braid. So of course that measurement of measuring people's wrists and sizing it up like that comes into its own here, so you can get the right size. This one's a single colour one. So far I'm showing you all the braided ones. So this one's quite a small one actually. It tightens right up there. And that one's a little braided single colour one. So instead of having our alternate colours like we have on the one I've just been showing you, these ones have all got, that one's got a single colour. I'll just show you a couple of other variations. This one here is the same braid but done with a 1mm satin. That's that one. This one here is 8 braid again, exactly the technique I've been showing you, but done with the cord that we would use to add beads on as well. So this is a thinner cord that we use, and this you can either thread the beads on or you can just do it like this to make some nice simple friendship bracelets. These are perfect for giving us gifts, and they're perfect for giving the kit or making gifts for friends, or children and grandchildren can make gifts for their school friends. So it's great for us to keep ourselves occupied in these crazy times, but also to give handmade gifts which are incredibly professional but made by you. So this is back to our braiding process, just for anybody else that is joining in or watching this back today. So this is the Japanese braiding, and this is the 8 braid. We call it 8 because it's got 8 braids of cord laid out on the top. When we first set it up we started with 4, but if you can watch back the replay on this you'll be able to go right back to the beginning and see how we set it all up for you. So, Riverside Beads are a craft and bead shop here in Market Deep in Peterborough. So we're a public high street store that you can pop into. So if you're local to us, do feel free to pop in and ask us any further questions. And I'll try and keep an eye on any comments on here that you need me to answer to. Okay, so I think actually we're probably getting nearly to a point this one might be done anyway. So I won't do much more for now. I'll remind you what it looks like underneath. So that's the braiding process, but what we're achieving from underneath, and if I just pull that into its natural tension, that's our braid. So you can see we're probably not far off that being the size we'd want it to be. So it comes out like that, and then we shape it. It's just so gentle. You just can gently shape it into the shape you want. It sort of roughly stays there. And of course when you wear it on the wrist, it's nice and soft and comfortable. So a couple of things I want to show you. I want to show you the finishing process. I want to show you how to do the end caps on these. So how to add these little caps on the back there. And then I wanted to go on and show you a beaded Kumihimo. So I suspect probably about another 15 minutes or so if you're tuning in, if you've got your cuppa at the ready and want to have a look at how to finish this. So if I go to one I've pre-done earlier, and I've taken this off of the disc. So I've taken it off and tied a knot. Let me move these out of the way so you can see a bit clearer. So I've taken it off the disc and I've tied a knot at the end there just to secure them. It's probably not quite bracelet size, this one. I was just doing a little demo one to show you. Now this end here is the starting end. So if I go back to my working one, this end, the pink end, is this bit here with this taken out. When you remove that, you simply tie it, slide it out, and then you end up with this, which is a really nice neat bullet end there. That end fits beautifully into your cord. This end here, what we need to do is wrap with some fine cotton, just some fine cotton around there to bind it off, and then we can glue that into our end cap when we cut it off. So if you're going, if you're wanting to learn further about this and looking to have a go, then I've got some videos on our YouTube channel of this. And of course, if you go for the book, or if you've got the book, it explains all that you need to know to do your Kumihimo, and it explains how to add your end caps on. Sorry, I've lost focus there, guys, haven't I? Let me try and get you back. Bear with me. Sorry. Yep, got my hand too near the camera. Has that got you back?
Okay, so when I glue my end cap in, what we do is we take our glue. It's got to be a good strong jewellery glue. So this is E6000, which is one I love. And you take your glue and squirt it into the cap there. So into the cap we put really a small amount, you know, a quarter of a capful. Scrape it off onto the edge, and as glue is so strong it will glue metal and fabric. So that's what we're looking for, a glue that doesn't go crispy like a super glue, that it's got a bit of flexibility, but it will glue metal and fabric. We take that bullet in there, into there, squash it in. So, I've not put the glue in for a start, this is just a mock-up one, but you squash that into the end, squash it round, and then once I've got that in, you give it a little turn. Now that turning process will help to stick that into that end cap there. So that would, with the glue in, that would be secure and that would be ready to go. Now the glue, this particular glue does take, you know, overnight really, 12 hours or so to dry, so you would leave this until the next day. So when we make them, when I come to you in your groups and we would make these, we would make this, you would take it home, and then the next day you'd be able to wear it. So this end we would be doing that, we would be then trimming it off with our scissors, and then that other end we'd be doing exactly the same process and gluing that in. So let me revert to one that I've done so you can see, and just get you a finished one out. And is there a colour I haven't shown you yet? I don't think I've shown you this black and silver one. Oh, and I quite like this, hold on, this purple one. Let me show you both of these because I haven't showed you these. So this is a very old one that I did with the little silver end clasp on there. So that one's a black and silver, and it's a dotted one if those of you that are looking at the pattern. So this one is another process of how you lay the cords out differently on the top, but the braiding process is exactly as I've been showing you. So top right down, bottom left up, works exactly this way. So that's the black one, and then this one here, I love this colourway. It's a maroony colour with cream. It just looks absolutely stunning. So of course when you do make your own jewellery, you can really personalise your jewellery to the outfit that you're wearing. Kumihimo makes, I've got 3 boys, and one, they love doing the braiding, and 2, they like to make these for football, you know, when they're in a football team, or for their favourite team colours. My husband's into rugby, so I made him, when he went to one of his matches, I made him a bracelet to match his team colours. So they're actually perfect braids for male or female really. You can give you part of a brownie group, or you know, a club or charities. Often you can make these to match up for people. The braided version with the cord is one of the most economical ones, and of course it's the quickest because you're just braiding through. So that was showing you how you add your end caps on there. Any questions that you need me to answer on anything I've shown on the braided one? If not, I'll get started with the beaded one. So do type in, I'll check back up in a minute. I need to sit down for this next bit again, but I'll check back in to see if there's any queries in a moment. So let's revert to braided Kumihimo. Now, okay, this one, you've had a sneak peek at the fact that I'm nearly finished with this one. So this one is one of the projects out of our book. It is going to be a necklace, and it's called our Gainer necklace, which is named after my lovely mum. And this is an assortment of different beads, different sizes, pearls, crystals coming through there. So this is our Gainer necklace, and I am at the very final stages really of adding the last beads in. Let me make sure you're in shot. Yep, hopefully you can see this one. Okay, so when I teach this at craft fairs and things, people will often say, oh, I've got one of those discs, never knew what to do with it, or hopefully this will put some light on that for you. Okay, now let me get all these beads out of the way, and I'll do a little bit of it away from the camera, and then I'll stand up and get this closer to the camera and try and get you a better shot of this. I just want a bit of an overview really at first for you, so you can see the process. So going back to the 8 braid and what we do at the with the braiding, with the top down, bottom up, this is exactly the same. Now let's get that in the right place. So I'm just dropping a bead in place as I go. So actually, if you look at the move I'm doing though, it just takes that top right down to bottom right, bottom left's coming up to top left there, but as I do, I'm popping a bead in, and that goes in place. Rotate anti-clockwise again, top right down, and in place, bottom left up, somewhere there. Just have to move those beads out the way and in place. Rotate, so I'm going right to right, left to left. I will show this beading process in a little bit closer detail in a moment, but it's just one bead we're looking to drop in place and put the cord. So right to right, left to left. So I'm still on an 8 braid warp Congo Gumi, as it's known in its traditional Japanese form. So I'm still working on this exact same process, but as I'm going, and I'm just sliding my beads out the way. Some people don't like to work with the beads on the top like I am here. What they do is I'm on my last stages of it, but they add knots in the cord, drop the beads down off of the cord, so you bring in one up. And when I teach it, I will be honest, that's certainly the way lots of people like to learn, so they don't get in too much of a tangled mess. So, but the process was right to right, left to left, rotate, right to right. But I'm sliding my bead in place. Bear with me for a few more repetitions, just so anyone that's joining us can see the process. Pop that there, right to right, move them beads out the way, left to left, like so, and rotate. Okay, let me do a couple more and then I'll come up and try and show you this in close detail. It's very hard to get this close, but in the book and in any kits that you buy from us with the instructions, you get a real close-up of this, and that's actually the key thing. I'll try and show you actually on the picture in the book, that might be a good idea as well, but I'll show you it in person and then I'll try and find the picture just to show you it. And the picture really does explain it, so you can see exactly where the bead's going, and this makes a difference. So what we're looking to do, that braid we did, so the braid we did on our satiny cord, and the thinner braid that I showed you, let me find it, that one. Technically on this piece I'm doing now with the beads on, this braid is inside of these beads, so it goes down through the core, and then what's happening is these beads are sitting on the outside of the cord there. So that's how the process of the braiding works. So the braid, as we say, is the 8 braid. It's exactly the same one that we've been showing on the corded version, but with the beads on. So we'll keep going a little bit and I will get up and see if there's any queries or whether... Oh, hold on, where are we going? Hi Sylvia, that's beautiful, thank you very much. Hi Sarah, you and your daughter are watching. I'm reading this upside down, this is a talent. She's 8 and asking if you can use more colours. Absolutely, Sarah, and Sarah's daughter. Yes, you can. Hi, Kathy. Interesting. Yeah, it's a fab technique to work with. And actually, I will be honest, I've shown you the braided, and actually, if you decide to go for this kit from Riverside Beads, do the braided one first, okay? But actually, I appreciate that the beaded one is the one that everybody wants to get to. You know, this is the one that a lot of people do enjoy doing. So yes, Sarah is the answer. So with regards to, you can technically do up to 8 colours if you let your daughter know. So you can, of course, it's an 8 braid one, so if you wanted to do 8 colours, what you would do is tie them together. So you would cut shorter pieces, so it would be roughly 2 times the length of your wrist, plus a little bit more to tie them together. Then you would tie all 8 together at the top, and instead of using that spare piece of cord that I used, you would just tie all 8 together, and then you would lay them out exactly as we are now, exactly as we were with the braided one. Sorry, I think I've lost you out of the shot there. Is that still in shot, guys? And then, yes, so then what you would do is braid it through. Now, I'm just desperately looking at my samples. I haven't got one here where I've done more than 2 colours, actually. I've made so many of these braids, you can't imagine. I've got boxes and boxes of these, and actually we started selling them off for Sue Ryder this year. So, yes, we were selling them off pre this craziness. We were starting to do a lot of fundraising. I was selling a lot of my work off to raise money for the charity. So yes, you can certainly do an 8 colour one. Now with the beads, that's certainly easy. So again, I would definitely practice the braided one. I've been and taught groups of all age primary children, as in right from the youngest age. So my son was doing this when he was 4. Got a picture of my husband. I've got 3 boys, husband and 3 boys, who would have been 4, oh, what would they have been, 4, 7 and 9 or something like that. Anyway, it's all primary age children, and I've got a picture of them all sat there. I love it. It doesn't actually happen now, I've got teenagers and things, but yeah, I love that they all sat together and we all did the braiding. So it's definitely a technique that any age can do. Certainly the braided one is a technique for everybody. Colour variation, beautiful. You know, put your colours in if she's part of a group or anything, or a club where they've got colour themes. You can make these into necklaces, of course, as you can see me doing with the beaded one, but that also works with the braided one too. So I'm nearly at a point, I think this is my final part of this necklace. This one I've been working on this hasn't literally taken me a week, but you know, every time I sort of pick it up and do another half hour on it. This one is certainly a bigger project, and you would definitely not tackle this as an absolute beginner unless you've done it before. So I'm just braiding these through, getting to my last few beads. Let me give those of you that didn't see the necklace a reminder. So remember, I'm leaving my 3 down so I know when I'm coming back to it. I'm coming up to this side. Let's show you the finished piece. And I just adore it. Look at them sparkles. I think that's what I like particularly about this piece. So this is a brand new colour variant that I've been having a play with. See if I can get that there so you can see the full thing. You can see it's pretty much there, isn't it? That's nearly my necklace. So of course you can make these as big or as small as you want. This is the pattern out of the book. So my book is A Beginner's Guide to Kumihimo, which is this here. That's one of the beaded projects on the front. But there's the this project that I'm working on is one of these in here. But I've not made it in this colourway. So this is a brand new colour that I've been working on. And I thought it was perfect timing for autumn to bring this out, which is just, well, it's nice crystals, which are always good for sparkle for the winter season anyway, but I thought what beautiful autumnal colours with these lovely golden tones coming through. Oh, thanks, Sarah. She said she's looking forward to having a go. Yeah, it's a perfect craft, perfect to do together. Absolutely addictive, I will warn you. This is my second book, sold out of the first one, whereas this second one I got taken on by a publisher, which was fabulous. But the first book I've completely sold out of. But I have been braiding everywhere I go, you know, sort of just pick it up, and if it's a long car journey, aeroplane, as long as you can't take your scissors, as long as you've done everything, you're prepping beforehand, you can sit and braid this. It absolutely just takes them long journeys away, these long times where we've had sat at home. It really does help while the hours away for you. So I am nearly finished with this piece actually, so I really ought to show you in a little bit more detail. I'm going to try and get this. Okay, I need you to be able to see this really clearly. Have you got that in shot? Hopefully you've got that in shot. So you pop that bead and you slide it in place under there. Now hopefully that shows you that. I've got that clearly on my screen. Can you guys see that all right? And then I put my braid in place, but don't forget it's top down, bottom up, but we're sliding that bead in. So slide your bead in. I'm doing it nice and slowly just so you can see. Can you see how it's going under that cord it crosses? Did you capture that okay? And then we pop that in place. So we've done our bead and we're remembering to pop our cord in place. Rotate round. Cord goes down and under the cord it crosses. And then this one here under, hoping you see it, 'cause I'm nearly out of beads for this project. Under there and pop that in place. Okay. Possibly on my last bead that I need here. So pop that one down. I'm going to show you it in the book just to show you the picture as well. So that is my finished piece coming out of my disc there. This is getting super long, and this is where I will need to get this one finished before I go home today, because it does get in a bit of a tangle if you keep popping it into a box when you're down to these final stages. Just take care to, you know, if you need to box it up and you've sort of done a long project, really, so gently pop it like that so you're not getting too much in a tangle. You don't want to get this far with your project and then ruin it. So hopefully that's my project done. Now this piece, I've jumped you straight into one of the more complicated projects, but actually Beaded Kumihimo, let me dip into these ones. So in the book you work your way through, let's grab this one. This is definitely where I would go. So once I've done my braided project, I would go to a beaded bracelet where we're just using 2 colours, one size of, you know, bead or a couple of variants of bead, but nothing too fancy. And this one will just allow you to, can you capture that? Okay, it went a bit blurry again. So this is Beaded Kumihimo. So, and that shows beautifully the different, you can see the 2 different stripes. So that whole theory I was explaining to you about the stripes and the different colours and the layout of the bead, the cords, that works the same with the beads as well. So this is the next project that I tend to recommend people do. It tends to be a beaded one. Even something like this one here, which is done out of 4mm pearls and 4mm crystals, that's not particularly more advanced than the first beaded bracelet that I showed you there. So this one, just get that end there so you can see it properly. So this one here just shows a little shimmer of crystal as you're going through, and you just pick them up in the light. So projects like this are beautiful for wearing parties, Christmas, all these things we're not doing too much of at the moment, but preparation, you know, if you've got a wedding coming up next year or something, beautiful made in your kind of creams or ivories to make a nice necklace. That shows just stunning in there with the light shining off of it. So that's one of the beaded projects. That's all the same technique that I've showed you, just same thing in a different, that actually matches the top of the necklace that I was doing, but that's just a bracelet. So you would tackle something like this and then you'll soon be ready to move on to another step there. Some of the different, I mean, look, if we fancy going nice and bright, that lovely yellow one. So I did make a rainbow bracelet as well, which was absolutely stunning, just made out of Kumihimo. So that's one of the patterns that we do too. So we specialise in different, here at Riverside, we specialise in different patterns, different designs, and like I say, I'm always braiding wherever I go, so I'm always coming up with new styles, and some of our design team as well do this braiding. So look at that stunning work, to just by simply throwing in some different, again, beautiful autumnal colours with the browns there and the bronzes and things. So that's a gorgeous colourway, absolutely stunning to make a nice necklace and bracelet set as well. So that's some of your basic beaded Kumihimo. I'm going to bring in the book to try and find you the end on that. So let's see. Okay, I just wanted to recap this is all the beginner stuff. So this is how, that's one of the bits I was going to show you. So this here is how to add the end cap. So hopefully my explanation did explain roughly. Oh, go to this page first. Tying your knot off on the end, tying a surplus bit of cord around it like so, cutting that off there above the bit where you've done, gluing the end cap and push the end in like so. So that's how we add our end caps on, but hopefully you saw that in real life there when I was doing it. And then just trying to find you the little bit where we add the bead on. Okay, here's where we need to be. So this is all that I've just been doing now, but right from the beginning, actually showing you it as a braided, you know, as an original, how you start it and everything. And then when you come to it here, how clear is that for you guys? So that one there, can you see that blue bead is tucked under the cord it's passing? There's lots of other photos of it, but that's a nice clear one to show that. So your bead goes under, nice big picture to show you that as well. Thanks, Deb. Yeah, it is a great hobby, highly addictive. Can I give that warning with it, but addictive in a good way. So yeah, there's so much. This book, when I went to the publishers and had to choose projects to go in this, I think I've got some of these here. That one is that project there. So that one gives a real tactile. We had to narrow this down from probably about 50 projects down to, well, what we went for is we went for 12 projects, but so this is a variation of one of the projects. So I say 12 projects plus all these variations in it. So this one's just by using different type of beads. This is Magatama beads, and you get that real, look at that dragon scale look on those. They're absolutely stunning, the effect. Another colourway of that there, just of the creams and things. So you can really just vary the type of beads, the colour of beads, the style of beads. With Kumihimo, there's not much that doesn't go really. You just have to experiment with your different braids. And it's kind of not irreversible. So if you did it and you wasn't happy with your results, you just sort of pick it back. Nothing's wasted. And each project that we've done in here will guide you through the different things. So this is a button and loop fastening, and that I was showing. So if you've got people who are allergic to metal, this one here is perfect for that, because you've got no fastening on there. This one is one of our most popular necklaces. It's absolutely stunning in a large necklace. There's lots of instructions for that one, but yeah, the book is there to guide you along your way, really. This one is gorgeous. This is a 4 stripe, so it's a pattern based one. You see there? So this one is I've got 4 colours, and you achieve that by how you lay your cords out on your disc. So yeah, there's all sorts of projects. There is 12 projects, but each of those with a variation in it, and each unusual. This is the one I was getting to, which was the necklace that I've just made to show you, and this is the original colour that we did, and we've done a couple of others since, and it shows you that you work with all these different types of beads. So that just shows you the variety of beads that you can include within this. So that's got from the different crystals, pearls, seed beads. Anyone that's familiar with beading, you know, if you've got these in your stash, you can perfectly well use those. So I think that's about all I was going to show you with that one. Has anyone got any other questions they want to know about Kumihimo? That's one of the more advanced projects, and yeah, lots in there for you to see. So this is a beginner's guide to Kumihimo by myself, Donna McKean Smith, and I'm the owner and creative designer, I guess, as well, of lots of our projects here at Riverside Beads. And we're a bead and craft shop here in Market Deep in Peterborough. So if you're local to us, do pop by. We're on shorter hours. We're just 10 till 3 at the moment, and then Saturday 10 till 5. And, you know, myself and the team are all on hand to give friendly advice and knowledgeable advice about these subjects as well. So do pop in, or any queries, pop by to our page or pop them on here, and I'll happily help you out. So this was Kumihimo, that art of Japanese braiding. And just going back for those new people that I can see are joining us, this one here is the original braid. So everything I've done, everything I've just shown you there, in fact all of those are all made by this exact same way, by taking the 8 braid Kumihimo, where you braid top right goes down, bottom left goes up, you rotate and repeat it. So it is just a wonderful hobby to have. It's very compact. I mean, even everything I've shown you here, this is sort of all the tools and materials I really need. A good pair of scissors, Kumihimo disc, and you're well away. So you can see I'm running out of cord on some of these now. That becomes your point you stop, because hopefully you measured your cord right in the beginning. Don't worry that one of my cords are longer than the other. These were just bits that I sort of roughly cut off. I didn't measure them or mark them to size. It was just to show you this gorgeous new colourway that we've got. Teal's my favourite colour, and I just love teal and purple together. It just looks absolutely stunning. So of course you can design these projects to fit with any outfit. Tone your colours. See, that's really nearly not able to reach there. That'll be the point. I'll stop in a moment. But this braiding process, you follow this through. So anybody that's new to it and thinking of having a go, just practice this braided one. Even if you sort of think, oh no, that's not what I want to do, it's the beaded. Do just practice some of these. They make great friendship braids, great little gifts, little thank you presents, get well presents for people. Happy Christmas, we need to be thinking of stocking fillers, cracker presents, that sort of thing as well. It's a very mobile hobby as well. So if you're finding yourself you know, sort of sitting around, you know, or you're travelling a lot, if you're visiting people and you want to take this in the car or trains and things as well, if you can take this, and it's a great project to do just to pass some time away, really. Promise you'll never be bored if you take up jewellery making. Okay, I literally can't get any more, so if I tried to do that, that's pulling that one out. So I'm at a good point. I can just show you the endings, and then I'll sign off today if nobody's got any more questions. So I'm taking all of this off of the disc. Now technically it could unravel just by 1 or 2 stitches there. So I've taken that off of the disc there. So just don't do too much with it, and it won't go too far further than that. But if you're unsure, just get hold of all the cords and just knot those off just to secure them in place so they don't unravel too much. You certainly wouldn't leave it not tied for any period of time in case it started to, if it got knocked and started to unravel. Okay, I'm just looking. Hi, Amanda. It's a fab technique. Yeah, it truly is. Yes, we're over in Market Deeping, so if you're local. I wasn't sure if you guys were local or if this is more of a national page for this virtual village halls. So, yeah, but if you are local to us, do pop over. Yeah, we have all the, crochet cottons work perfectly. Crochet cottons, cross-stitch threads, that sort of thing. So we've all got that sort of thing in our stash, haven't we? So here's our finished piece. So yeah, it would look really nice and soft. And I mean, it's not quite crochet cotton, but I suspect your crochet cotton would come up a little bit thinner maybe. All we do is just braid them up, and then we just gauge the size of your ends once you've done it. So measure it, make one up, bring it over done, and then we can measure the ends and go, right, yep, that'll be that size end you need for that particular cord you've been using. So if you stick with things like your satin cord, this one needs an 8mm end cap, and then like the thinner ones need a sort of 5mm end cap typically. But yes, you can we can measure it up. So Deb, right, hi, thank you. Yes, it's a national page. Yeah, I did think it was. It just happens then that Amanda is local to pop in there. So yeah, we are online, riversidebeads.co.uk, and this technique is called Kumihimo. So you'll find starter kits for this that you can grab starter bundles with my book and everything for £15, or one with a little beaded project in for £20, or you can just piece all the bits together as well, depending what you've got in your stash already. So I absolutely love that. I think that could be my this week's bracelet because it matches beautifully with my uniform that I wear to work. Perfect colours. So to finish it, we would be going back to that technique I showed you where we're taking that out there, and that end's ready to go in, and then we bind this one off and then glue that into the end as well, and then it becomes ready and functional to wear as well. So thank you ever so much, guys. I think I'm about done with what I've got to show you. I could have you here all day to, if we would teach a class on this, we would be here all day to show you all the different techniques that you need to know. There's just so many things that you can do, but it's a great craft to learn, quickly pick up, and then to evolve really into different techniques and really take it as far as you wish to. We've got a Facebook page and a Facebook group over here at Riverside Beads, and you can check that out to for ideas and inspiration. We do general jewellery making as well, but I certainly keep going back to this topic, and I'm just designing lots of new colourways for projects from my book, so I'll be covering this quite a bit more over on our page over the coming weeks. So I think that's everything. I don't know if I dare tip this camera back up because I've got nobody here to check if I'm in shot, but I'm going to try. Bear with me. I'll see if I can. I'm just going to come around and see. You can probably see my stand of paper there now, and I will try. Hold on. Good old technology, eh? Right. Let's see whether I'm not even going to know if I'm back in shot when I come back in here because I can't see the comments. So I was Donna from Riverside Beads and Crafts over here in Market Deep in Peterborough, and the technique I showed you today was Kumihimo. So it was beginner's Kumihimo really, which the book certainly progresses you through from beginners all the way through to what I would say would it be intermediate techniques as well. And then it's up to you to experiment, and do share your designs with me if you decide to have a go with this. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've got any questions, check in with us and I will come back to you on those. And I may see you guys again soon. My colleague Heidi, who works here, is going to be doing a paint pouring. Now the girls here on Village Hall might be able to tell me when, but I feel like it's next week. I've got it in my diary. And Heidi's got a paint pouring. So paint pouring is a beautiful medium to work with. Little bit more messy. Little bit more materials that you, not more materials, just a bit more space that you need, whereas Kumihimo is quite a compact craft to work with. Heidi's going to show you how to get down and dirty and messy with our paint pouring that we do. So it's nice to be able to bring some of these classes that we would normally teach in store over to you guys virtually. So thanks so much for having me, and I may see you again, guys. Take care everybody. Thank you.